Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So I just want to quickly comment on the situation that has been developing at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, in which a prison which holds, I think it's 1,200 inmates, has been without heat or power for over a week. Now, as expected, there has been somewhat of a public outcry as what some people are calling a mistreatment of prisoners. It's not exactly clear as to the measures that were taken or that are able to be taken to provide these prisoners with electricity and climate control. The situation has gained more attention as a result of the colder than average temperatures that have been brought in the past week by the notorious polar vortex. But I think what this should communicate to people, number one, this is something which happened in the best of times. Now, there's a lot that we can take from this incident with regards to how it's going to be dealt with in a full-blown SHDF situation. Because we're talking here about inmates a week without power in a situation where arguably they could have been transported by bus somehow to other facilities. I know it would have been a very major task, and I'm not really sure of the specifics. Maybe they thought it was only going to be a one-day power outage, and the problems kept mounting. It could have been a situation like that where the logistics just weren't there. But it also shows that they perhaps don't have a good emergency plan for these prisons. Now, what this tells me that in the best of times, from a standpoint of the power grid wasn't compromised at all, it was just that one building, and at the very balmy temperatures that it was, if nothing was done to care for these prisoners, what do you think is going to happen in an SHTF situation? It starts to become quite apparent what's going to happen is that these prisoners are likely going to be neglected. There have been protests outside of there, and a lot of the protesters are actually workers who are complaining about the conditions as well. So what that tells me too is that, you know, a lot of the workers in these facilities, they probably develop some sort of relationship with some of the prisoners on some level. I don't think that they're going to necessarily be so inhumane that they just let the prisoners struggle in their cells and essentially perish due to lack of food and water and proper climate control. But it's very clear that they're very low on the priority list, even in the best of times. Now, if you haven't seen my video collaboration with Fresh Out of the Penitentiary, I'm going to post a link in the description. It's a guy who did hard time in a federal prison, and he's talking all about, you know, what his thoughts are with regards to what's going to happen to prisoners post-collapse. I'd suggest that you go check it out. It's from an ex-con's perspective, and it might give you a little bit of insight as to the mindset of prisoners within the facility. I don't think a lot of people have actually seen those videos, so I would strongly encourage you to go check it out and leave your comments below with regards to this situation as it develops. Apparently it's supposed to all be fixed by Monday, but I think this is quite telling with regards to what the fate of these guys is going to be in a prolonged grid down scenario. But what likely is going to happen is that they are going to be abandoned within a facility. And remember that these facilities are such that the only reason why you can't get out is because there are guards there making sure that you don't slowly tunnel your way out of one of these rooms. All it takes is a couple people who escape from their cells, who are dedicated enough to start prying open doors and picking locks, etc., for everybody is free of their legal obligations, so to speak. And you cannot rely on the government to disavow their emergency plans for these places, if they even have any, as evidenced in this scenario. I'm sure they have some emergency preparedness strategy for fires or whatever the case might be, but to get them to commit to following that plan in a crap hits the you-know-what scenario is not a bet that I'm willing to make. Stay vigilant, stay ready, and for God's sakes, stay out of jail. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out. The best way to support this YouTube channel is to support yourself by gearing up through CanadianPreparedness.com or BugoutRoll.ca. Premium quality gear at the best possible price using the incredibly secure and easy to use Shopify platform. We offer free shipping to the United States for orders over $200 USD and free shipping to Canada over $75. So support the channel by supporting yourself.